Hey guys, welcome back to Taste of Victory. We got Haze here with the Dr. Pepper Titamon deck. First place at his incredibly stacked locals. Third place at Gaia Force Gaming Discord Online locals. Haze, you want to go ahead and introduce us to this absolutely spicy build?
Yeah, so this is Titamon with a couple of spicy techs that make it better against the current North American meta, which is basically infested with security control.
Yeah, All Might. It has security control is such a great matchup into Bond, which is going to be super popular. So building against that is definitely the right call. You want to go ahead and start us with your list, and then after that we could go through matchups.
Yeah, sure. So we'll go ahead and start with the eggs. We're playing four of the Tsunomon because that's the egg you should be using for Titamon, and it draws you a card when you discard something, which you're basically doing all the time. And then we play one Demimera. Um, it comes up sometimes. I think it is okay to just play the four Tsunomon. I never ended up needing my fifth egg, so I think four Tsunomon is probably a safe bet as well. So then if we go into the rookies, we're going four starter deck Gabumon. This one is the best rookie that you'll want to have under your Titamon, because if your Titamon survives a turn, this lets you trigger the security attack +1 and +2000 DP whenever you attack. And it's not once per turn, so you can, if you restand with BlackWarGrowlmon, you'll have that extra filter as well. Next, we'll play two Gazimon. Memory boosts aren't the starter deck memory boosts aren't out yet, but you will see some fair amount of memory gain via Hammer Spark, Reinforced Memory Boost, and Azulong also runs a fair amount of things that gain memory, so this still comes up. And then we're running two Goblimon. We're running two Goblimon, mostly because of space. If I had more space, I would run another one. This lets your Titamon basically swing at 16k, which is really significant because Bonds is 14, which Titamon normally will crash into. Um, and this will also survive a check against Omni's insecurity as well. And then for next we have two Elecmon. On deletion, delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. Really good in the Bond matchup. And also comes up with versus Jesmon, since you can swing with this to chip them, and then it'll trade against their Hackmons and their blocks. And then finally, for the rookies, we'll run three Labramon. Three Labramon's really good here because on play, draw one, trash one. This helps you dig through your deck. Also helps activate your Titamon when you don't have a Gabumon underneath. For Ginkakumon, this is basically the level 4 you want under your Titamon. This stops you from passing turn with Titamon. And also you can just gain a lot of memory if you have multiple of these underneath your Digimon. Then we'll run two Kinkakumon as a part of the package. This a lot of times you will be discarding this just to fuel your promote, but this does come up in the Bonds matchup a lot. If you swing with your level 5 or level 6, and you can just delete their rookie. Really useful, and combined with Elecmon, these two are basically your weapons against Bonds. Then finally, we're running, well, not finally, actually. We have still more to go. So we have two Ginkaku promote. This is how you end games, basically. And in the end game, you will have the two underneath this. And it will gain you a memory and draw one. So it's really nice. The rush is really good. Sometimes I wish I was playing a third because if you don't see it, it's really hard. But two has generally been enough for me. Then we're playing Ogremon, two of them. This could be one, but I think it's pretty significant. It'll pop Mechanori, it'll pop rookies, helps against rookie rush if you ever go against it as well. Then we're also playing two Vilemons. Vilemon, well, it's the only blocker that we're playing in this deck aside from Rebellimon. And you just need a blocker somewhere in the deck. It doesn't need to be many as it was in BT5. And specifically Vilemon because it's 6k, so it doesn't get popped by Bauhackmon. So it is more durable than the one-cost Devimon. Then this is a really important combo piece for this deck. It's BlackWarGrowlmon. This lets you Digiburst 3 to bring back a rookie, and then you can also when attacking, delete one of your other Digimon to unsuspend it. This is really significant because Titamon can swing for 2 checks. So when you unsuspend it, you will swing for 4 checks in total. And then we're running 3 Rebellimon. Really good, especially if it's over a Ginkaku. This is effectively a 2-cost evolution. Gives your Digimon retaliation and blocker, very useful against Jesmon. It will basically walls them off for a turn unless they have specifically Rise Gray and Bauhakmon at the same time. Also, if you evolve a level 6 on top of this, it will also stop a Gabubond for a turn. So those are very useful applications. Then we're also running 2 SkullGrey. SkullGrey is a really good early attacker. When you have SkullGrey, a lot of times you'll be swinging with it, especially in the Bonds matchup. And the ability to it gains 3000 DP, so it swings for 10k on its own, and if you have a Goblimon underneath it, it swings for 12k. So even if you hit it like a Jetsmon in security, it's not gonna die. SkullGrey will live most security checks in this meta. And you can, when you trash this card in your hand, you can put it under one of your purple Digimon. So and a really cool combo you can do against Jesmon is sliding it under your Vilemon. Now you have a permanent Rebellimon, which is incredibly hard for them to out. They basically have to Gaia Force it, or when the starters come out, Atomic Blaster. Also, putting this under your Titamon can also just not. It really makes both Bonds and Jesmon in a weird situation because they can't swing over your Titamon or lose their stack. The last one we're playing is LadyDevi, just 1 copy. This is only in here until the starters come out. And once the starters come out and we have purple memory boost, that'll be enough consistency to drop the LadyDevi. Right now it's just that we don't have purple memory boost, so this the draw 2, trash 2 is good consistency. Also, it's an 8 cost. If you take a look, so we have 6 8 cost level 5s. 8 cost is really significant in this meta because it dodges Gevalt Swarmer. So Rebelli will get pop gut by Gevalt Swarmer, but these 6 will not. And that's all basically a part of how you play around security control right now. Just varying up your costs and not letting them pop your whole board for just one option. Running 4 Titamon. This is the main boss of the deck. Really strong card. When digivolving, trash a card in your hand, then you may play a purple level 4 lower Digimon from your trash while paying its cost. And then once per turn, when you trash a card in your hand using one of your effects, this gains 2000 DP and a security attack +1. This card is so strong. The only issue with it is that it's a 4 cost, which is why you need the Ginkaku or some other memory gain to not pass turn on it. But swing for 2 checks and then unsuspending it and swinging it for 4 checks is a lot of damage and can match up to the aggro of the current meta. And we play so many different level 4s, and this gives you that toolbox to all of it. You can get your Vilemons, you can get your Ogre, you can get your Promote. A lot of different lines of play you can do with Titamon. This is where the spice begins. So we're going to play 1 Mastemon. This card, so sometimes in certain matchups you won't really use it much, in that Titamon's almost always a better evolve target. But this is basically a 5th Titamon. You can revive your level 4s, and in security control particularly, this is really useful. Even more so than it was in previous formats, I would say, because in this format, security control will do a lot of its recovering via reinforced memory boost, and you'll see what they recover into their security. So when play I really like to do is save this for when they recover in a Zord defeat, so then you drop the Mastemon and burn away their Zord defeat. Very consistent, very good. And also in other matchups, you can sneak lethals in a way that Titamon cannot with Mastemon. Next level 6 we're running is the 1 Tactimon. Tactimon, really good. I chose this mostly for its 3 cost evolution, which lets us go into our next level 7 more easily. The deleting rookies does come up. Jesmon does like to pump out a lot of rookies. So do the Bonds matchups. But mostly you use this to beat over things. For example, a Jesmon board, this card can beat over it with a BlackWarGrowl underneath. If they have CL on board, Jesmon does go to 13, right? So you swing at your security first time. This goes to 13, and then you unsuspend it. Then you swing at the Jesmon for 15, and you're able to clear it. So basically, when you swing with Millenniummon and try to clear board with it, not Millenniummon, when you swing with Tacti and try to clear board with Tacti, sometimes they'll have like one more body left on the board, right? Then you go into Millenniummon and fully clear their board. In the Gaia Force Gaming tournament, a Jesmon player set me to 0 security and had 5 bodies on board. With Tacti, BlackWarGrowl, and Millenniummon, I was able to clear the entire board and secure lethal in the next turn. And then moving on to the non-Digimon parts of the list, we're running 1 Grave Memory Boost. This is basically a stand-in for Purple Memory Boost when we get it. But the retrieving effect can come up because we're not playing Matashita. The gain 2 memory does really help with Titamon because of the combos and stuff. But sometimes you need that extra BlackWarGrowl. If you were forced to use your BlackWarGrowls early, you can fetch it back with Grave Memory Boost. And then for the tournament, I specifically ran 2 Underworld's Call. I don't know if I would run 2 Underworld's Call now after the tournament, but this is what I ran for both tournaments. Really good in this deck because you can trash it to draw a card, but it's this most powerful is being able to play your promote in the end game, and then play for if you have a memory tamer out, you play this for 4, you play promote, and then you get the Kinkaku and the Ginkaku underneath, gain 1 memory. Now you have an attack that only costs a 3 memory. So this steals games. It steals games. 2 Fly Bullet. This realistically can also be Trump Sword, but I think I prefer Fly Bullet a little bit more.
Yeah, it's more generic.
It's just, yeah. The good thing about Trump Sword is that if Gabumon hits it in security, they just lose. But Fly Bullet is just more generic.
Right.
And it's harder to play around Fly Bullet. So one of the issues that you will encounter playing this deck is people dropping Sakuyamon and stopping your OTK. You just Fly Bullet their Sakuyamon.
Nice.
So this takes care of your problems for you. And then here's where it gets spicy. We're playing 2 Delicate Plan. Security control is really common right now in North America, and also Musketeers are pretty common as well. Those 2 are very difficult matchups for Titamon because everything in their security just stops you. And with this, you basically turn into Purple Jesmon. You're swinging for 4 checks and then 5 checks, including promote. This lets you do that safely. For the Tamers, we're playing 2 Marcus Damon. Because Matt Ishida is not that good of a tamer, we're not actually hurting much at all by playing a red tamer over that. And specifically Marcus over Tai, because Tai actually does nothing other than be a color requirement, but Marcus does have a niche application where if you have Marcus out and SkullGrey out, if you swing SkullGrey, you gain 1 memory. This is pretty significant because if you swing SkullGrey, suspend Marcus to gain 1 memory, and you were at 3 memory, so you go to 4. Now you can Mastemon, burn for the another check, and then revive your promote. So, it does come up sometimes, but we're mostly playing it to have access to Delicate Plan.
Right.
Yeah, basically, the Delicate Plan is the most useful against security control, musketeers, and those affiliated decks. but it does actually come up pretty useful against the other decks of the format. So
Oh yeah, for sure. You don't want to set off a Hammer Spark.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And Kaida's Breath, Rattlestar.
Hmm.
Once the starter decks come out, Agumon has an absolutely stacked security.
Nice. So these seem to really help improve your security-focused matchups. Do you feel these techs have damaged any of your other matchups? Like, does Rookie Rush get even worse now, or Green?
So green isn't too much of an issue in this current format. Like
That's true.
in these past couple tournaments, I've not played it against a single green player, and I don't think you'll really have much. So I guess Ancient Troy could be an issue because then you can't swing for your 4 checks with Titamon, but you do run the Fly Bullet and you do run the Millenniummon where you can just remove their body. So I guess the biggest concern most people have about this variant is, do the red deck color cards hurt my consistency? The answer is very little. Sometimes in extremely niche scenarios, you might be missing that mat for a color requirement to play like Fly Bullet or something. But that's only happened to me once, and it wasn't even a big deal. And also, I guess I've had the concern that, isn't Delicate dead in your hand if you don't have Marcus?
Right.
Well, it is, but basically when I added these 2 cards into the deck, the question was what to cut, right?
Mhm.
And it doesn't really, in testing, it doesn't really hurt consistency that much. Like, if you can't use a Delicate Plan or you don't need it, you can just discard it with all of the discard you have in this deck.
Yeah, and then you get rewarded for that with all the like memory plus or draw effects and stuff in this deck.
Yeah, the Tsuno
Nice.
will just refund you
Yeah.
after discarding it.
Very
So
cool. Okay. So in that latest tournament, which was Gaia Force Gaming's online Discord local, shout out to them. How many security controls did you end up facing in that tournament? Like, what were your general matchups? If you want to walk us through those.
So round 1, my opponent was actually we played a Titamon Mirror. They
Cool.
played a Chaos Gallant Titamon with Manoa and Mega Digimon Fusion. I think this deck is just more consistent at doing its game plan than that deck, so I was able to win that one. And the round 2 was my first security control player.
Mhm.
Game 1, I didn't need this. As in, I had it, but I didn't need it because I was so that game took up approximately 35 to 40 minutes. That game 1.
Wow.
So that took a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
But game 2, I had the combo, 5 check, Delicate Plan.
Mhm.
The game was over in 15 minutes.
Nice. That's awesome.
All right, so that was a 2-0 for and then game 3 I played against Yellow Green Rookie Rush.
Mhm.
That in that matchup, Ogremon and Elecmon came up huge. Also Tacti.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Once Tacti hit the board, is basically game over.
That's awesome.
Right? But before you get there, Ogremon pops, Elecmon pops. If you just turn 1, Digivolve an Elecmon and Raising, and then drop a Vilemon or something, now they can't swing at your security, and you have a Elecmon rating and Raising to swing into their security and trade with one of their Digimon. So it's just really high value plays that you can do against that type of deck as well. Round 4, I played against Jethmon. That matchup, game 1, he kind of bricked a little bit. So I took that pretty easily. Game 2, he hit the absolute nuts. As in we're talking Greymon, Savior, Jethmon, both sisters in hand, and a tie.
Wow. Nuts.
So when he swung, so basically I saw that he had, he didn't even need to use Hackmon to dig for his pieces. But once I saw the Greymon and Raising, I started to pretty aggressively chip at his security with whatever I had, and I knew that once he evolved into Savior, it didn't matter whether my Digimon were unsuspended or suspended, because he could just clear it with Judgment of the Blade. So I swung everything.
Nice. Yeah.
And built up a fresh stack in Raising. at that point, you hope that they can't OTK you, right?
Right.
Um, so then he swings for 6 check and clears my board. So if he had Omni or a Goonie, he would have had it there.
Right.
But he didn't. And yeah, what? I mean, it would be too crazy, right?
Right.
If he had
Yeah. Too
full
perfect.
line, right, without even using a Hackmon. Um, so then the next turn, I just pulled up BlackWarGrowl, Digivolve into Tacti, swung, clear his board, Digivolve into Millenniummon, cleared the board, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that was the win, 2-0 against Chessmon. Rebelli helps a lot in that matchup. Just walled him off for a turn. Last final round, security control.
Mm-hmm.
Game 1, I was able to get the 5-check OTK off with Delicate Plan. So last round, the security control is Beal Star security control, which is actually a little bit harder
Mm-hmm.
for this matchup than normal security control because they can threaten a defeat evolve and delete your markets. Which is why you either have to have the out to Beal Star immediately, or you save the Marcus in your hand, basically right before you do your combo.
Right. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. Because the list ran 4 Beal Star and 2 Ornus, so 6 targets to evolve into defeat. But I did end up losing that match overall because game 2 I was missing my promote, even though I had gone through 75% of my deck.
That's the worst feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. I was 1 promote away from winning, I'm pretty sure. So, and game 3, luck of the draw was not on my side.
After all this playtesting, is there anything you would change, just because of your matchups, or anything when the starter decks come?
Yeah, yeah. So actually, to go over one more thing, for matchups related in previous tournaments, I had played against one other security control in my locals.
Uh huh.
Really good player. Um, and I would also able to pull this combo off.
Cool.
Um, so the only match I dropped against security control was in the finals.
Right. Okay.
Of Gaia Force. And so any changes I would make, so I played 2 call
Mm-hmm.
for the tournaments. I think what I would do is drop a call for a second Millenniummon. It's just too good. You need to see it
Right.
in the Jethmon matchup and the security control matchup, and in the Black Royal Knights. Call. So I was running 2 because I was sometimes discarding the call to get the extra draw.
Yeah.
But if I ran 1, just hold it in your hand until you sneak the game with it, basically. But once the starters come out, a couple of changes would happen. Grave Memory Boost would turn into Purple Memory Boost,
Yeah. Of course.
and we will drop the Lady Devi for another Memory Boost.
So Lady Devi is like a super popular card in purple decks. Like a lot of purple decks max it out. While yours is running 1, and you're saying you're eventually going to cut it. I know this is optimized for the security control matchup. So is that like to combat against decking yourself out against them, or is there another reason you're not too big on Lady Devi?
So, not decking yourself. So I don't think you're worried about decking yourself against security control match in this deck because
Mm-hmm.
you do have the pieces to just one-shot them in one turn. And in fact, if you draw through your deck, you're probably winning.
Okay.
Because it means you have Marcus and you have ADP. So I think if you draw through your deck, you're probably won the game. Kind of like Lilith Loop. If you draw through your deck, you probably won the game unless you fail to secure lethal. But you kind of spend the whole match setting this up. The reason why I don't play Lady Devi is because in Titamon, that effect is good, but it doesn't win you the game. You want more proactive level 5s or Rebellimon. Basically, SkullGrey is a attacker
Mm-hmm.
and specifically deals with Jetsmon as well.
Mm-hmm.
BlackWarGrowl, most important thing, restands, makes you become Jetsmon. Rebelli, you just need to not lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Lady Devi just kind of helps with consistency, and Once we have purple memory boost, I don't think that's necessary anymore.
Right. Okay. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You want max aggression
Yeah,
in this build. You know.
yeah, she just lacked like the punch, really.
Okay. Yeah. Is there any closing thoughts you want to add before we go? Anything you need to plug?
I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. Well, actually, shout outs to the Purple Gang and the Huang Zero Discord for helping figure things out for this variant.
Nice. Yeah, Huang's got a real great community in there. I'm hanging out there in time to time, all the time too.
Yeah. Also, thanks for everyone who was cheering for me in the Gaia Force tournament.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Haze, for coming onto this channel to do this profile. This is an awesome build. So yeah, thank you so much. I hope you had a great time. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah. Thank you, JC, for having me today.